to be the last thing that comes. So pop, hands should stay in the launch. Okay, shouldn't come forward. So that's the other thing we're watching in that drill. And again, everything we do, there's some rhythm involved. Okay. Pop, you can see that back knee. That's the other thing we talk about is, one thing I've been seeing more and more with hitters is them pushing off their back foot and basically straightening their back leg. We want to avoid that. I always tell them that the knee actually takes the heel off the ground, okay, as opposed to me pushing off the ball with my foot, because that's going to create a whole set of problems, okay? And you'll see some of the drills here that we do that kind of help maybe avoid that. Goody was kind of a guy that would do that. His head would get forward, he'd get a little choppy, so there were some drills we would work with him. Jump back tee, okay? Most of the tee work, whenever we're doing these type of drills, are always working the middle of the field. Okay, we're always working in the middle of most of these things. Jump back tee. So tee's in the middle, I'm gonna line up for a middle. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a small jump back. And when I do that, I wanna keep the knee and the hip inside my foot and basically get loaded into my backside. Okay, but it's just a small hop. But what I don't want is this action. I want them to go back and feel. They should gather. Okay, they should gather. And then from that position, from here, this is going to come up, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my swing forward. Now you can do it one of two ways. You can have them jump back, swing, and basically just end up normal, or you can have them go past the tee. Here, swing, finish through the tee. Either one's fine. Again, what you're really trying to do is get them to feel their load, and then direction. All right? Once you gather, sending it back straight at the pitcher. Okay? And I want them to elevate, it's just like he did a good job. I want them to elevate their leg, okay? Just so, again, it slows them down, and it makes sure that he can feel like he gets inside loaded. And again, it's not an extreme jump, all right? It's just enough to get him back there and feel it. And you can see even him, you can see how it's starting to float a little bit on us. We got to make sure that we keep him back, that his head, you can see that back leg starting to get straight, and we want to avoid that. Some of the drill, you're just kind of doing that naturally, okay? But again, this works on their direction, okay? Direction and feeling his load. Walk through tee, okay? This can be done a couple ways as well. This is the one that kind of looks like Happy Gilmore. I'm sure most of you have seen that movie, but it's kind of like that drill. But again, rhythm, working in a straight line extension, hand stride separation, all happens in this drill. But so basically, you can do it one of two ways. If this is the tee, okay, I can kind of step in at an angle. I'm just going to have the bat sit right in front of me. I'm going to step in. I'm going to load inside here. And then as this plants, then I'm going to lift this way. And as I do that, as I see my stride starting to happen, you can see what my hands are doing. They're going opposite. All right? Opposite, boom, swing, and I want to end up past the tee. Here's the key. One thing that's sometimes can happen when you're working at this angle is that they start getting off of that line, okay? By stepping in this way, they kind of spin off and they don't stay on line, or they really close themselves off. So those are things you want to make sure that you're aware of and that they're not doing, okay? Or you can just be straight back. Again, it's the same idea, hands in front, I'm going to inside here, step inside. As I step and will plant, then I'm going to load, swing, okay? Again, direction. Make it go in a straight line. You want to avoid this action, okay? Them spinning out of there. All right. You can see he's at a little bit of an angle. Biggest thing, watch how his feet land, okay? He gets back to square, boom. It kind of looks like he might close himself off, but he doesn't. Stays right in line, front shoulder stays in. And you can see that last little action to it. Watch that separation it gets right here, boom. That's where your power's coming from, guys. That's where it's naturally going to come from. Your ability to do that action, okay? I always think of it, if you're going to punch somebody, you wouldn't do this. What would you do? All right? You're going to load and gather. All right? That's where you're going to gain power. All right. Okay, bat lag progression. This is one that we always used to do more on like a tackling dummy or a tire. We don't have those, at our facilities, so we just do them on a tee instead. And I do it in two ways, all right, or 2 steps. Okay, so the first thing is it's a post-stride drill. Anytime I say it's a post-stride drill, that means your front heel's landed. Okay, front heel's landed, and the other thing is one thing I've started to use this for is for those guys who are doing this. I want to limit the head, and the head needs to stay behind the ball. Okay. By forcing this forward, it's going to affect your bat path. Your bat path is going to start going this way. We want to avoid that. We want to get on the plane of the swing, or plane of the ball, plane of the pitch. All right? So, with the bat lag progression, the first one is we're going to kind of work up from contact, okay? So the first one will be closer to contact. So, from that position, we're going to be already close to full direction with our lower half, okay? So back heel's off the ground. And now we're in a position where our hands have come forward, and I want to keep connection with my back shoulder and back. Don't want this. Okay, we want it to stay connected, and we don't want it to be up and down because this is a chop. We want to start being on plane in this area. It happens with our shoulders, getting us on plane, but making sure that bat, I always think about your bicep and your shoulder, trying to get the bat to be right in between those is what we're trying to get. And then from this position, you're just finishing the swing. You should have a little bit of action left in your lower half to here, okay? Got to make sure that their lead leg is bent, okay? It's not firm yet. As soon as this firms out, everything's going to stop. So we don't want that till contact. So make sure that this is, I call it soft, okay? That's bent. And so when it gets to contact, that's when it's going to snap out, okay? That's when it's snapping out. So kind of see, and that bat's in a lag position. There's not much action in the swing. I'm not worried about how hard they hit it. I just want that simple finish, and the other thing is I want their head to stay still. At this point, the head, as soon as this heel hits, head stops, okay? If the heel hits and the head continues to move, we're going to have issues. So the head should not move anymore in this position. And I did it both from kind of the side and behind just so you get an idea of what they both kind of look like. Again, it's just the middle. You can see with where that back's located, kind of the shoulder and the other, or between his shoulder and bicep, and you can see he's already started to tilt his shoulders. Okay, that's helping the bat get on plane. All right.